Krishna.
My humble obeisances to all the devotees at iskcon Wellington, led by His Grace Ambrish Maharaj Prabhu and other Vaishnavas here. I am very honored, happy and grateful to be amongst all of you. Last 3 days, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the last 3 days we have been discussing so many beautiful pastimes from Srimad Bhagavatam and trying to learn and meditate on several principles for practical application in our spiritual life. And today, the last day, I was asked by the devotees to speak on selfless devotional service. Devotional service itself has to be selfless. Yet, we need to stress the word selfless because sometimes we may forget to be selfless. Because the default setting of a conditioned soul in this world is to do something for one's own personal pleasure, one's own selfish desires, ulterior motives. One may not be deeply selfish in the sense that they are not too self-centric or self-obsessed or self-infatuated, but somehow people tend to think of themselves more than others. You may not literally call them selfish people, but at the same time, they are not selfless also. We are not selfless also sometimes, because somehow or the other we think of ourselves more than others. That's the default setting. We think of one's own personal welfare, even while practicing spiritual life. My sadhana, my seva, my department, my body, my prasadam, my schedule. There's a lot of I-centric ideas, even for a good cause. There is some I-centric thought process going on in any average human being or even an average sadhaka. So sometimes we need to deliberately remind ourselves of the importance of being selfless. My life is not meant for myself. My life is meant for others. In this context, let me remember what Lord Sri Krishna spoke, where in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, he speaks to his friends, the co-head boys. Etavat janma safalyam dehinam iha dehishu pranair arthair dhiya vacha shreya acharanam sada. Please repeat. Etavat janma safalyam dehinam iha dehishu pranair arthair dhiya vacha Shreya acharanam sada. Etavat janma safalyam. The devotee has to make one's life very successful in this way. What is that way? Dehina vihadehi pranay arthair dhiya vacha. Prana means one's own life. Artha means one's money, wealth. Dhiya means one's intelligence. Vacha means one's words. One needs to use these 4 faculties. Shreya acharanam sada. One should use these 4 faculties for the welfare of other living beings. One should definitely practice devotional service for one's own upliftment, no doubt. Janma sarthaka is very important. But after that there is paropakara also. Don't stop at uplifting your own spiritual consciousness, but also try to uplift the consciousness of others. Exhibit some selfless spirit. Extend yourself for the welfare of others, especially for the spiritual welfare of others. Show some compassion, show some empathy, show some sympathy. This is what the scriptures teach us. This is what Krishna is teaching us. And Krishna spoke this shloka that we just recited specifically in the context of glorifying the trees of Vrindavan. Just consider the life of a tree. A tree offers shade to us when we are walking in scorching heat, which is very rare in Wellington. But it is very, very common in India, especially around this time in May. I don't know, is there any other season in this country where we have scorching heat, where they are sweating under the sun? When is that summer?
December, January.
December, January, February. Oh, that's chilling cold for us there. Anyways, whenever we are struggling in scorching heat, when we go under a tree, the tree gives us cooling shade. Similarly, the tree offers its entire existence for the welfare of others. The leaves and the twigs and the branches and the wood and the flowers and the fruits and whatever the tree provides is meant for the welfare of others. Tree does not use anything for its own self. Even if somebody throws a stone at the tree will respond by throwing a fruit or a flower or maybe a few leaves, which will not hurt us, which will nourish us, which will help us. That's the nature of a tree. And this is supposed to be the nature of a Vaishnava also. Selflessness, living for the welfare of others. And if we live for the welfare of others, especially spiritual welfare of others, that will satisfy Krishna, that will satisfy our own hearts also. Living for the spiritual welfare of others. In the 8th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Sukadeva Goswami says, Tapyante lokatapena Sadhava prayasho jana Paramaradhanam tadhi Purushasya Tapyante lokatapena. Tapyante means these devotees, selfless devotees, they undergo so much of austerity to mitigate the problems of others. Right? Tapyante loka tapena. Tapa counteracts tapa. The tapa of a Vaishnava counteracts the tapa of materialistic people. Tapa means austerity. What is austerity? You know the definition of austerity? To voluntarily accept some inconvenience upon oneself for a higher purpose. That's the definition of austerity. You voluntarily accept some inconvenience, some discomfort upon yourself to help others for a higher purpose. That's the real tapa. Tapa is again two types. One tapa is performing some austerity for our own spiritual upliftment. Second tapa is performing some austerity for the welfare of others. Two tapas. So this tapa counteracts the tapa. Tapa is again three types. Adhyatmika, Adibhautika, Adidevika, Kleshas. Together they are called Tapatrayas. Right? So people in this world are struggling, they are suffering so much. Either physically or emotionally or spiritually. Everybody is in some need. When we are physically comfortable, when we are emotionally stable, and when we are spiritually nourished, it's our responsibility to share our privileges with others, to share our knowledge with others, to share our realizations with others, to share our resources with others. This is called selflessness. Let's not keep everything that we have or that we are bestowed with or blessed with in our lives for ourselves only. Let's share it with others. That is selflessness. Right? Somehow, in this material world, common materialistic people cannot exhibit selflessness in their relationship even with the Lord, what to speak of other human beings. Even when they go to a temple, break a coconut, or offer some dakshina, or do some pradakshinas, or parikramas, circumambulate the deity or the temple 10 times, 11 times, 100 times, 50 times, whatever. they expect something in return. Expectations. They expect something in return. It's not selfless. Actually, in the culture, it's taught like that. I have seen some parents telling their children, they went to temple. The parents say, you should fold your hands and offer prayer to the deities. Oh, good training. The kids will just go offer them very innocently. They see the deity, oh, very nice colors, nice ornaments, nice garlands. They just, whatever they understand, they appreciate. They fold their hands. They just sing some shloka, some simple shloka, and they come out. But the parents say, what did you pray for? I took darshan, I folded my hands, offered the prayer. Means whatever shloka that they have memorized, I just spoke in front of the deities, that's all. No. Whenever you fold your hands in front of the deities in the temple, you should beg for something, you should ask for something, you should desire something, you should express your desire. What desire did you express? Actually, the desires of the parents only will tell the kids. You express your desire that you should get first rank in your exam. Right? If they are little grown up, you should express your desire that you should get a good campus placement. You should get a good job. Or if they already have a job, just go and pray to the Lord that you should get a promotion. At every stage of life, we are guided, taught to ask for something from the Lord. It's never a selfless dandavat, never a selfless offering of respects or even pranam. Harekrishna, pranam. Oh Lord, pranam, Prabhu, pranam. But I want this. Just for pranam you are asking something? Yes, of course. Pranamo dukkha shavanam. That pranam will immediately relieve our desires, our miseries. But the Lord does it on His own. But if we do pranam only to be relieved from misery, only to get some wealth or whatever prestige or name, fame, ranks, etc., then it's business deal. Of course, at least doing that is better than becoming an atheist. In that sense, that's at least okay. But there's something called selflessness, which most people don't know. You can always offer pranams, offer respects, offer garlands, offer flowers or fruits to the Lord without expecting anything in return. Just out of sheer love and affection for Krishna, you offer him a banana, offer him a flower or a fruit or a garland. Just because you went to the temple and folded your hands, that does not mean you have to ask something only. I need some book. Most people, even in the Puranas you see, many people perform severe austerities to please some deity. When the deity manifests in front, and the devata, so and so, whoever they have worshipped, they manifest in front, they ask for some boon. They did tapasya only for a boon, that's all. They aren't vardhan. If there is no requirement of vardhan, if they don't need any boon, they will not do tapasya. For example, Hiranyakashipu did severe tapasya, severe austerities. For what? Just to get some boons from Brahma. For a long time, for several years he has done, several decades or probably centuries he has done tapasya, just to become immortal. He controlled his senses. He was not even eating food. Half of his body was eaten up by insects. Only ribcage, only some bones were visible. In Hiranyakashipu's body, Brahma even could not recognize Hiranyakashipu for a moment. Oh, then he recognized, that man who has only half of the flesh in his body, he is Mr. Hiranyakashipu. I need to fulfill his desires. So Brahma just took some water, celestial water from his kamandalu, and then sprinkled on Hiranyakashipu, and Hiranyakashipu again regained his beautiful, strong, well-built body. And then Brahma asked, what do you want? What do you want? We are meditating on me for hundreds of years because he wanted something. That Brahma understood. Because he can't meditate on someone without any expectation. That's the default setting of a conditioned soul. When you meditate on someone, you think of someone, you worship someone, you offer something to someone, you want something in return. This is called selfishness. That's how our wiring is. Wiring has been since time immemorial. Right? So Hiranyakashipu said, I want to become immortal. Not possible. So he gave a very tricky proposal. I should not be killed inside the home or outside the home. I should not be killed on the land or in the sky. I should not be killed in the daytime or night time. So many protocols, all of you know. And Brahma said, okay, fine, tathastu. Then tapasya is stopped from there. As soon as he received the boon, full stop. No more tapasya, no more austerity, no more sense control, no more mind control. So this Hiranyakashipu, who controlled his senses very severely to get this boon, became a victim of uncontrolled senses as soon as he received the boons. As soon as Hiranyakashipu received boons from Brahma, he occupied the heavenly planets. Nobody could do anything because he has boons. And he was constantly drinking wine, enjoying with the celestial apsaras in the heavenly planets, dominating and bossing over all the devatas. His eyes are constantly rolling in intoxication. So far, very strict sense control. But he is breaking all four regulative principles as soon as he got the boons. That's the kind of worship. People may not be like Hiranyakashipus in terms of doing austerity, but in terms of mentality, most people in this world, most conditioned souls in this world, even if they are little religious and even if they are inclined to worship according to the Shastras, the default setting is desiring something in return. I want something in return. If I worship someone, if I offer agarbatti, if I offer flowers, doop, deep, naivedya, I should get something in return. Without that, what's the point of going to a temple? What's the point of holding hands in front of this form of stone standing in front of me? People told me that if you offer some dakshina, you offer some flower or fruit and fold hands and offer some prayer and read this shloka, you will get good marks in exam. Your pending desires will be fulfilled or your miseries will be mitigated. That's the expectation of people. And they worship some deity, in some temple, with some desire. Somehow that desire is not fulfilled. Or they want to mitigate some misery, some difficulty, that difficulty is not solved. They change the deity. Okay, this temple, this deity is not powerful, let me go to another temple. Let me worship there. Let me do this kind of puja. And there are so many people who are prescribing the pujas. Right? They take some fees. They say, you should do this vrata, this japa, this tapa, this homa, and then you worship this deity in so and so temple there. Then your problem will be solved. And then you will get rank. Then you will get promotion. Then you will get success in business. So they will go there. So, lot of expectations. Some of them may be reasonable expectations also. And some of them may have their expectations fulfilled also. But today we are here to discuss about another way of approaching the Lord, approaching people, approaching anyone. That is selflessness. Let me tell you a simple example. The mother has made very delicious meal, delicious sweet, for example. It's very nice. And she started feeding all the family members and kids. The children liked it so much. And they're taking second round, third round, fourth round. And the pot is empty. Not a morsel of that sweet, not a spoon of that sweet, not a tablespoon or teaspoon of that sweet was left for the mother. The kids were very enthusiastic to consume the whole thing. It happens sometimes. It happens. Will the mother feel unhappy? I didn't get to eat it. Mother actually will feel very happy that the kids are enthusiastically eating. But daily he will eat this much only, today eat more because he likes this sweet. She feels very, very happy. She feels very satisfied at heart. Even if she doesn't get to eat it. Although she is the one who made the whole thing. The child did not help also. He just came from school, mother, I am very happy, I am very hungry, feed me something. Okay, whatever she fed, completely finished it. Nothing left for her also, but she is very happy. with that. Because she is selfless. She wants to serve the child to his heart's content, and her happiness is very much in the happiness of the child. This is selflessness. And satisfaction lies only in selflessness. In selfishness there is no satisfaction. A selfish person constantly hankers for more and more and more. Greedy for more and more. A selfish person, even though so much of facilities or privileges or attention is given to that person, he wants more and more and more. Because of the constant hankering for more and more, there is no satisfaction. But a selfless person is satisfied even if he or she does not get anything. That's the nature of selflessness. And actually bhakti has to be performed without any selfish intentions for complete satisfaction of heart. There are so many people who approach the Lord or different devotees with something that they are expecting in return. They are not satisfied ultimately. They are satisfied that they got the boon, but the boon could not give them permanent satisfaction, it's a temporary satisfaction. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, in contrast to what we have discussed in the last 10 minutes, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakti pahritam ashnami prayatatmanah. Please recite this.
Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakti pahritam ashnami prayatatmanah.
The meaning is very simple. Even kids know this meaning. Patram means a leaf. Pushpam, a flower. Phalam, a fruit. Toyam, little water. Yome bhaktya prayachati. If you offer these four simple things, inexpensive things, with bhakti, with devotion, tadaham bhakti upahritam. Again Krishna says devotion. Bhakti upahritam, that gift or that offering made with a sincere intent, I will accept. Ashnami prayatatmanaha. Prayatatmanaha means it's offered with very sincere and loving intention. Krishna will accept it. Here the key word is upahritam, means giving upahar. What is upahar? Gift. When you offer some gift to somebody, will you expect a return gift? Will you expect? If they give return gift, that's a different thing. But do you expect a return gift? You went to some birthday party or some friend and you offered something. Why is he not giving me anything? I have purchased so and so gift with so much of money, and I am expecting that he will give you something. He just kept some small piece of cake and said bye bye. He is not giving me anything. Then when there is expectation like that, it cannot be satisfying to the heart of the person who is receiving that gift, the person who is giving that gift. That's why Krishna uses the word upahritam, you give me something. Even if you offer me a little flower or fruit or water or leaf without expecting anything in return, just as a gift to me, then I will be very happy and enthusiastic to take it. But even if you offer me gold and silver and diamonds and rubies and sapphires or whatever, big buildings or money, etc., but with expectation in return, I am not very comfortable with it. I may accept, I may fulfill your desire, but that offering will not satisfy my heart. When there is selflessness, that selflessness completely satisfies the heart. When there is expectation, oh, he is giving me these gifts, and he will expect something from me tomorrow, then you don't feel like accepting that gift also. That expectation may not be in the form of some physical gift only. It could be expectation in the form of some time or some favor or some... There are many other things that people expect from others. But when that expectation is not there, then you freely offer gifts, freely receive gifts, right? Because It's not the gift that's satisfying you, it's the heartfelt intent that is satisfying you. There are some people who offer even small thing and they immediately are ready with a favor. They're waiting for the right moment. Okay, today I offered this, I made a connection. I think after 5 days or 10 days or maybe after 2 months or 3 months, I can definitely ask something from them. And why did I invest so much that day? Because बहुत पूरा पैसा वसूल करने वाला हूँ. That is the intention in connecting with people. People will get scared of connecting with us, right? If somebody comes to us with something, with some expectation, then that expectation will become like a business deal, not like a selfless friendship. Therefore, Krishna is making this profound and simple statement in the Bhagavad Gita. Tadaham bhakti upahritam. You gift me, give me little water or flower, and I am satisfied with it. So don't expect anything in return. Without your expectation, I am giving you everything. If you don't expect anything in return and offer something to Krishna selflessly, then Krishna will offer himself to you. But if you expect something in return, some material benediction in return, and offer something to Krishna, Krishna will get material benediction only. Krishna will fulfill that material desire, but you will not get Krishna. Which is better? Not expecting anything and getting Krishna in return, or expecting something and getting only that something in return. Which is a better business deal? Who is a better businessman? Right? So, Krishna will offer himself to a devotee who offers himself to Krishna selflessly. When we offer ourselves to Krishna selflessly, Krishna will offer himself to us. Just like Bali Maharaj offered everything to the Lord, and finally he offered himself to the Lord. Atma Nivedana. Then the Lord said, you offer yourself to me, let me offer myself to you. I will become a doorkeeper in Sutala planet. You go to Sutala planet, I will become your doorkeeper. I will just attend to whatever you want me to do. That is the extent to which Krishna can reciprocate. Krishna can bless us. But unfortunately, we want many other material things from the Lord. The definition of bhakti, which is given in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, is Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhaktira dhokshaje ahaituki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. Savai pumsam paro dharmo. The supreme dharma of every single living being is yato bhaktira dhokshaje, that which invokes bhakti in us. And that bhakti must be performed ahaituki, without any expectations, without any selfish agendas and personal motives, and apratihata, without any interruptions or inconsistencies. Then yayatma suprasidati, then that will completely satisfy our hearts. If that selfless spirit is not there, satisfaction will not be there. Satisfaction in bhakti is directly proportional to our selfless intentions. If the intent is selfless, we are not expecting anything in return, then that's what will fully satisfy the heart. Now, in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd chapter, there is a beautiful shloka. I think 38 shloka I can see. Saveda dhatuh padamim parasya gunanta viryasya rathangapane yo mayaya santataya navritya bhajeta tatpada sarvajagandham. Saveda dhatuh padamim parasya. Who can understand the Lord completely? Duranta viryasya rathangapane. Who can understand the unsurpassable glories of that Lord who holds a chariot wheel in his hands? 3 things. Yo amayaya, one who serves the Lord without any reservations. So, yo amayaya. Second, santataya, constantly, without any interruptions. Third, anuvritya, means favorably. We should have a favorable intention. And that favorable intention is selflessness. Any selfish agenda is an unfavorable intention. I am not saying this. Bhagavatam is saying. Even Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is also saying. What is the definition of bhakti in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu? Anyabhilashita sunyam jnana karma yanavritam anukulyena krishnanu shilanam bhakti uttamam. Anya abhilashita sunyam. A devotee should not have any other abhilashas, any other desires. Sunyam means zero. Anya abhilashita sunyam jnana karmadi anavritam. Means, okay, that's a technical definition, but let's stop here only. Anya abhilashita sunyam. No selfish desires. No selfish desires in bhakti. That will only ensure our advancement and satisfaction in bhakti. Advancement and satisfaction in devotion, devotional service is dependent on the purity of our intent and the consistency of our attempt. When we have pure intention, selfless intention, that will satisfy the hearts. And there is selfishness. No. The gopis of Vrindavan are considered to be the topmost examples of selfless devotion. Topmost examples. Because they don't desire their own personal satisfaction even in dreams. Even in dreams also, even for argument's sake also, they never aspire for personal satisfaction. Their entire existence is meant to give satisfaction to Krishna, give pleasure to Krishna. Expecting our own personal enjoyment is called lust. And offering oneself for the enjoyment of the beloved Krishna is called love. This is kama and this is prema. The difference between kama and prema is so much that it's like the difference between iron and gold. Atmendriya pritivancha tarevalika Krishnendriya priti ichha dhare premana. Atmendriya pritivancha. Atmendriya means one's own senses. If I am desiring for the satisfaction of my own senses, for the pleasure of my own senses, it is called kama, lust. But if I am aspiring to give complete satisfaction to Krishna, it is called prema, love. And the gopis are the epitomes of pure and selfless love for Krishna. That Krishna also felt very incapable of sufficiently reciprocating with that selfless devotion of the gopis. He said, Naparayeham niravadya samyujam. Naparayeham. I cannot repeat. I cannot repeat that text to you. Krishna felt grateful. Krishna felt bankrupt to sufficiently reciprocate with the love and affection of these devotees, the gopis. Not that we should make Krishna feel bankrupt or incapable of reciprocating. We can never do that. We should not even think like that. But the gopis of Vrindavan, you remember that scene when Krishna was leaving the land of Vrindavan along with Akrura and a chariot. All the gopis were hoping that some elder, some leader will intervene in this situation and stop Krishna from going away from Vrindavan. Because if Krishna goes, he may not come back. We don't know when will he come back. Why nobody is stopping? What happened to these elders? Have they lost their intelligence or what? They were thinking like the whole night they were singing their Viraha Gita, song of separation from Krishna. And finally, the next day morning, all preparations for Krishna's journey from Vrindavan to Mathura were happening in full swing, without any doubts. Of course, there were so many doubts in the hearts of Yashoda Mata, Nanda Maharaj and all the elderly cowheads, but still, so the king has ordered that Krishna and Balaram be brought specifically for that Dhanuryaga. Therefore, it's their responsibility to go there. Because the king's order is there. Otherwise, he is a cruel king. He may come and attack the village also. He is an unpredictable person. He killed even infant babies also. Devaki Mata's babies. His own sister's sons, he has killed 6 of them, left, right, center. In one line, he has killed all of them. So, people are obliged to follow the instruction of Kamsa. And also there is some conference, if Kamsa does some gadwad, if Kamsa does some mischief there, Krishna will kill him. Some gopas are confident. But the gopis, were thinking that, oh, Krishna may not come back if he goes now. So all these gopis came on the roads and stopped Akrura's chariot. They said, Akrura, you are not Akrura, you are Krura. Krura means one who is very cruel. What can be more cruel than separating Krishna and the gopis of Vrindavan? Akrura were doing that. They were thinking like that. So some gopis came and caught the wheels of Akrura's chariot, not allowing it to move. Some gopis went and caught the horses of Akrura's chariot, not allowing them to move. They are not used to horses, the gopis. They are simple village ladies. They can deal with peacocks, monkeys, parrots, cows, calves. That's their area. They are not into dealing with horses and elephants. But these innocent gopis went and caught the horses, not allowing them to move. And these gopis also went and caught Balaramji, please don't go. Don't allow Krishna to go. And he took the driver and threw him on the road and started beating the driver. These innocent gopis publicly. And some gopis went and pulled Krishna, please don't go. They were weeping, piteously they were weeping. Such a heart-touching scene in the entire Bhagavatam. They were weeping profusely. Why? And Krishna told them, don't worry, I'll come back soon, just 2 days, pursue. I'll come day after tomorrow, something like that he said, and then he proceeded. But the gopis were standing there like paintings, like figures in a painting, not even moving, not even blinking their eyes, not enough tears to shed also, because they were profusely crying, completely overwhelmed with sorrow, with pain, with emotions. And when they were like that, Krishna's chariot moved. And they were standing there till the last speck of dust raised by the movement of Krishna's chariot and the horses of the chariot settled. The dust was rising, right, as the horses move, as the chariot is going, till the last speck of dust settled, till Krishna became invisible apparently. These gopis were standing there with tears in their eyes. What was their mood? What was their emotion at that time? Were they desiring some personal enjoyment in the company of Krishna? When somebody dies in this world, people cry for the departed soul, isn't it? Mera kya hoga? What will happen to me? How will I survive? How will I live without you? I. But the gopis were not lamenting for themselves. They were not thinking, how will we survive without Krishna? If going away from Vrindavan gives pleasure to Krishna, and if he is happy without us, no problem. Let him go. We'll stay here. But the gopis are convinced that Krishna will not be happy outside Vrindavan. Krishna will be happy only in Vrindavan. Outside Vrindavan there is no happiness for Krishna. Or even if there is some happiness here and there, that's not comparable to the happiness available in Vrindavan. Can you just imagine? The gopis were thinking that if Krishna goes out of Vrindavan, who will feed him? There is no one. Outside Vrindavan, whether in Mathura, Dwaraka, Hastinapur or Kurukshetra, wherever Krishna goes, Krishna cannot get the quality food that he is getting in Vrindavan. Either through the loving hands of Mother Yashoda or loving hands of Srimati Radharani. In fact, because Srimati Radharani got a special benediction from Durvasa Muni that whatever she cooks will be nectarian, Yashoda Mata called Radharani, please cook for my son every day. So the gopis are cooking the breakfast. for Krishna every day. Srimati Radharani is personally making breakfast for Krishna every day. It's Pavan Sarovar. And Mother Yashoda also prepares lunch for Krishna and sends with a carriage with Raktaka Patraka Chitraka in a big tiffin box. And this Raktaka Patraka Chitra will go to the forest and deliver that lunch box to Krishna in the forest every day. Sometimes Krishna also personally carries his lunch box. So the gopis were convinced that outside of Vrindavan, Krishna cannot get this quality food. When children grow a little older, they go from home to university to live in a hostel. I think some of you parents must have some experience. Your kids are going from like school to college, or college to university. Then they may have to stay in a different city in a hostel. I did that for my masters. Till B.Tech, I was only eating the food cooked by my mother. Right. Till my KG, I never did KG, I think, directly first year. From third standard I started actually. So whatever education has happened up to third standard is all ABCD here and there. So from my beginning days till my B.Tech, I was only eating the food cooked by my mother. But for the first time, I was sent out of home to do masters in a different city, in a different state in India. And my mother calls me every now and then. They don't have a mobile phone. And the neighbors, they have some phone. My mother would go to the neighbor's home and then she would call, or sometimes I would call. They gave me a mobile, right? They didn't have a phone, but they gave me a mobile. So I would call our neighbors and says, I need to talk to my mother. You call her. So she will come. After 10 minutes, again I will call. Then she'll ask, are you eating well? Actually speaking, the menu in our hostel mess, which was like very elaborate menu. At home we used to get one sabji, little rice and then maybe one papad and curd, that's all. The menu is very simple, 3-4 items, 4-5 items, that's maximum. But in our college hostel, there is elaborate menu. Rice, chapati, 2-3 sabjis and dal and then bread, butter 4 times in a meal. ASC hostel is very good. Hostel mess is very good. It's not a mess, it's really good food from a material perspective. Right? Not Krishna Prasadam, but from a material perspective, it's like good meal. But she's worried, am I eating properly or not? Because menu is elaborate, but there is no emotion there. Some cooks are making something. Right? They are making something, it's a part of their duty. Of course, they maintain the cleanliness standards, etc. But still, home food is home food. Mother's cooking is mother's cooking. She's very much worried. What's happening? Are you eating properly? Are you sleeping properly? Are you working too much on your assignments? Okay, take care of your health. Same stuff. Even after 20 years, same thing. Right? No, that's not much changed. Right? So the point is, just like a mother is concerned about what the child will eat at a different place, all the Vrajavasis are concerned how will Krishna enjoy when he goes out of Vrindavan. Although Vrindavan is a village and Mathura is a big city, although in Vrindavan Krishna walks barefoot and in Mathura Krishna can wear such expensive shoes and big mukuts and expensive attire. He is not like a cowhead boy, he is a prince. He would live in palaces, not in small homes. Right? Of course, Nandabhavan is also palace, but in Mathura there are bigger palaces. It's not a village, it's a city, big city, capital city or whatever. So, these gopis are the Brajavasis, Mother Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj, all the gopis, Brajavasis should feel that Krishna will get better facilities there. But the gopis are convinced that Krishna will be deprived of these high-grade facilities in Vrindavan. More than facility, emotion is important. No one can exhibit motherly affection of Krishna as much as Mother Yashoda does. No one can have fatherly affection towards Krishna as much as Nanda Maharaj has. No one can love Krishna as much as the younger gopis of Vrindavan do. No one can befriend Krishna and fulfill that friendly needs of Krishna as much as the Gopas. The Sri Rama, Sudama, Stoka Krishna, Madhamangal, Subala, they're irreplaceable friends of Krishna. Krishna can never have friends who are as close as him. Since childhood they are always together every day. They stole butter together. They were tending cows and calves together. They were playing together. So, Krishna will be deprived of this friendship. Krishna will be deprived of this love. Krishna will be deprived of his affection. Krishna will be deprived of this service and this food and these facilities in Vrindavan. Therefore, we are lamenting. When Krishna leaves Vrindavan, the gopis' concern is not that they will miss some personal enjoyment in Krishna's company. If Krishna goes away, what will happen to us? No. If Krishna goes out of Vrindavan, what will happen to Krishna? Why should Krishna settle down to some kind of food which is not as good as what Mother Yashoda makes or what Radharani makes? Why should Krishna settle down here? Why should Krishna be deprived of the friendly exchanges with the Gopas? Why should Krishna be deprived of this? No, we can't tolerate Krishna's pain in this way. We must bring Krishna back to Vrindavan and give him the best great experience. Whether in Vatsalya Rasa, Madhurya Rasa, Sakhya Rasa, Dasya Rasa, Krishna has the top class devotees in Vrindavan only. In this glorious Vrindavan University, all toppers in all fields exist. Now in this world there are some colleges, some universities where toppers in all departments, whether it is electricity or electronics or computer science or data science or information technology or artificial intelligence, now all cream members of different streams will end up in the best college, best university. Similarly, in this Bhakti University in Vrindavan, all the toppers in all rasas exist. Other places, yes, there is some devotion, there is love definitely, but not as much as in Vrindavan. And Krishna will miss that experience. Why should Krishna miss? So, Gopi's lamentation is characterized by selflessness. They were not seeking any personal pleasure in Krishna's personal presence in Vrindavan. They are lamenting for Krishna. Their entire existence is meant for others, meant for Krishna specifically. Aho bhagyam nanda gopa prajokasam yanmitram paravanandam purnam brahma sanatanam. Aho bhagyam, what great fortune, what great fortune. The gopis of Vrindavan are saying that what great fortune. Nanda gopa prajokasam. Because, Brahma is saying that gopis and gopas of Vrindavan are extremely fortunate because they are getting to have Krishna as their personal associate. Not anyone else. Oh, Bhagya, what great fortune. Brahma is wondering at their fortune. And seeing this selfless devotion of the gopis of Vrindavan, Uddhava said, Asama ho charadare jushama hamsya Vrindavane kimapi gulmalataushadhina Yatustyajam swajanamarya patham chahitva Bhejur mukunda padavim sutibhir vrigya Asama ho charadare jushama hamsya. This Uddhava is feeling that if I am completely impressed and inspired and mesmerized with the loving devotion of all these gopis, I feel like falling at their feet and taking their dust. But I am a prince from Mathura and they are simple village girls. If I ask them, can you please give me dust from your lotus feet? They feel very shy. They feel very embarrassed. They will not give me their dust. So Uddhava had an idea. Okay, let me become a creeper. Let me become a blade of grass in Vrindavan so that when gopis walk, I will get some dust. But if I am not fortunate, if I am not qualified to become a blade of grass at the lotus feet of these gopis, then at least let me become a blade of grass in the outskirts of Vrindavan. Once in a while they may step out of Vrindavan for a few moments also, then I will get some dust. Why the gopis are celebrated so much like this by topmost devotees of Krishna? Because of their selflessness. Once Krishna had headache, severe headache, and the medicine for this headache, Krishna himself said, if some of my devotees offer dust from their lotus feet, and if that dust is kept on my head, I'll be alright. Then Narada Muni, he himself did not want to give his dust, but he wanted to get some dust from some Vaishnavas. He went to so many places. First in Dwaraka only, he asked the queens of Dwaraka, Satyabhama, Rukmini Devi, Jambavati, Mitravanda, Kalindi, Nandajiti, Satya, Lakshmana, will you please give dust from your lotus feet? He said, no, we will not give. He has headache. We will go to hell if we give dust from our feet. Then Narada Muni went to so many places. He went to so many devatas and asked them, you are great devotees. You chant Purusha Sukta prayers. Whenever you are stuck, you go to the Lord and you offer him prayers and ask him to protect you. He did so much. Now he has severe headache. Can you give some dust? If we give dust to Krishna, our dust to Krishna, we will go to hell. We can't give. They all felt embarrassed. Then finally, Narada Muni went to Vrindavan and said, oh gopis, Krishna has severe headache. And the cure, the medicine for this headache is dust from the feet of some devotees. As soon as these gopis heard that Krishna has some headache, they were devastated. My God, Krishna has headache. Can we do something about it? How can it be cured? They felt so much pain, intense pain in their hearts. If they get headache or if someone else gets headache, they will not feel so much pain. But when Krishna got headache, they were feeling devastated. Then Narada Muni said, there is a cure. You need to give dust from your feet. Yeah, take it. Right? They just took their dust from their feet and put it in a nice spot and gave it to Narada Muni. Narada Muni, please go immediately, don't delay. Go immediately to Dwarka and give it dust to Krishna. Put it on his head. If required, bathe him with the dust. Mahiyasam bhagarato bhishit. Narada Muni said, okay, I will go, but just let me clarify. Do you know what will happen if Krishna takes this dust on his head? Then the gopis said, his headache will be cured. That's fine. We are asking something else. What will happen to you? It doesn't matter. Just go. No, let me clarify. You will go to hell. That's fine. The gopis said, to relieve Krishna's headache even for the fraction of a second, we don't mind living in hell for the rest of eternity. We don't mind living in the hell for the rest of eternity and suffer all kinds of hellish punishments if our dust can relieve Krishna's headache even for a fraction of a second. Anyone ready for such a deal? Here? I'm not ready. Very difficult. But the gopis did not just make some statement just to get some claps and whistles. They really mean it. That's their selflessness. To that degree, they selflessly love Krishna. This is what is expected. Is it getting too heavy? the class is getting too heavy. Please forgive me. I can speak some simpler pastimes also, but somehow I don't know why Krishna is inspiring me to speak this. But the gopis are ready for it. Gopis are ready to go to hell. So this is the standard set by the topmost devotees of Krishna. And here is a struggling sadhaka. Krishna is not kind at all. I have been asking this simple thing from Krishna since long time and he is not giving this to me. Is he hearing my prayer? Is he hearing my chanting? Is he noticing? Is he kind? All the descriptions in the Shastras, are they wrong? So we lose faith when Krishna doesn't reciprocate with certain desires we have. We think our desires are genuine and we deserve the fulfillment of those desires. We are entitled for that fulfillment. We think like that, but somehow we lack this understanding. The highest standard set by this great devotees. So selflessness, okay, we may not be able to come to that standard overnight. Let's come to our plane, human plane, sadhaka plane. I think I began with sadhaka plane only, somehow I just went to Vrindavan and gopis let me come back to normal, our plane. So let's cultivate this selflessness consciously. Let's consciously cultivate this selflessness by meditating on such great examples. Actually, although we are simply sadhakas, many of us, some of you may be siddhas, I don't know, but many of us are sadhakas. Still, if you meditate on the examples of such great devotees, we will understand where we need to go. We will not be proud of our simple selfless acts or some little services we are doing. We will not be proud. Gopis are there. I am nowhere close to that standard. I have a long way to go. If I am thinking I am already sufficiently advanced, I am in deep illusion. So therefore, once in a while, if you remember such great example, you will understand the gap between us and where we are supposed to be. Therefore, hearing examples of these gopis, not esoteric pastimes, but at least their selfless services and devotion, that is very, very beneficial for our advancement in Bhakti. Otherwise, just by doing little seva, just by distributing a few books, or just by giving a few lectures, or just by worshipping and the deities of 2-3 artists, just by serving 1 or 2 decades, we think we are pure devotees. And some people ask us, new people ask, did you have darshan of the Lord? Did the Lord give you some darshan? Sakshatkar mila kya? Some people ask, oh, आपको मिला तो भी हमको नहीं बताएंगे, मुझे बताएं. And somehow we feel happy that these people are thinking about me like this. Illusion. Illusion. When people are appreciating us, glorifying us, of course, if it is a genuine appreciation, take it as a blessing, take it as an encouragement, and continue your good service. But sometimes when we take these praises to the heart, we can go into the deeper and deeper realms of Maya and imagine that we are great devotees, although we are nowhere close to selfless bhakti. And sometimes people praise us, wow, itna pure, not pure, we know. Krishna knows, and many people are close to me also know. One thing is, we may think that we are not so pure, but when somebody actually says that we are not pure, we are uncomfortable with it. Right? Have you ever noticed that? When somebody points out, you have done this mistake, Prabhu, then we feel offended. We say, I have done so many mistakes too. Itna patit hu, itna papi, I am so falling. We speak low about ourselves, but if someone else speaks even slightly less about ourselves, we become like fire. Hey, Vaishnava Prabhu. Such a big Vaishnava Prabhu, these people are doing, they don't understand Mahabharata. That's our condition, and there are gopis. To relieve Krishna's headache for a fraction of a second, they are ready to suffer in hell for the rest of eternity, for billions and billions of years. We are supposed to reach there. Do we know that? I'm here to remind myself and remind all of us that we are supposed to reach there. And Gaudiya Vaishnava's aspiration, ultimate aspiration is to follow in the footsteps of the gopis and serve Krishna. Imbibe the devotion. Mahaprabhu came here to give us Vraja Bhakti. That's where we need to go. Ultimately, we need to develop such sincere dedication, complete dedication to Krishna's seva, with absolutely no expectations in return. In this lifetime, is it possible? It can be possible. Why one lifetime, even in a fraction of a second, it is possible, provided we have that purity of purpose. There are some moments in our spiritual life where we actually feel, yes, I need to be selfless. These are some selfless moments in Bhakti, yes. Well, when you are reading a purport by Prabhupada, when you're reading some pastime in Srimad Bhagavatam, when you read some shloka in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna said, Ananyascinta yantoma vejanaha paripasati tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. Many people, how many of you don't know this shloka? Tell me. How many of you know this shloka? Ananyascinta yantom? Nobody? Please raise your hands. Please raise your hands. How many people know this shloka? Ananyas chintayanto mam yejanaha paripasate. Remaining rows, you don't know, or you don't want me to know that you know or don't know? Okay, at least half of you know this shloka. Yoga kshemam vahamyaham. You know this phrase, at least not raise your hands. If you know the phrase yoga kshemam vahamyaham, please raise your hands. Okay, quite a significant number. So yoga kshemam vahamyaham. Whenever we read this shloka, the whole focus goes on yoga kshemam vahamyaham. Hardly anyone thinks about the first line. Most people think about the last line. Yoga kshemam vahamyaham means Krishna will take care of me. Krishna will supply whatever I don't have. Krishna will preserve whatever I have. He will carry what I lack. He will supply what I need. Oh my God, so much discussion on yoga kshemam vahamyaham. People use this as captions for their brands. Right? Yoga kshemam vahamyaham. But how many people focus on the first line? Ananyas chintayanto mam. What is the meaning of the first line? Ananyas chintayanto. Can anyone say? Anya means something else. Ananya means nothing else. Ananyas chintayanto mam. If you are constantly thinking of Krishna, remembering Krishna, meditating on Krishna, doing Krishna smarana with absolutely no distraction or deviation, then yoga kshemam vahamyaham. Krishna is clear. We are having undue and unreasonable expectations that Krishna is not doing yoga kshemam vahamyaham. Are you doing ananyas chintayanto mam? We should question ourselves. We expect Krishna to do his job perfectly, and we don't do our job perfectly. Actually, Krishna always does his job perfectly. Yoga kshemam vahamyaham. Even if we are not ananyas chintayanto mam, still he is taking care of our yoga kshemam. But we are not grateful for it. We are not counting those blessings. We are only complaining. Ye nahi mila, wo nahi mila. Right? Ananyas chintayantam is the main line for us. Yoga kshemam vahamyaham is Krishna's job. We have nothing to do with it, by the way. Right? Yoga kshemam vahamyaham is aham. Aham means who is speaking? Krishna is speaking. That is his job. Don't focus on his job. You focus on your job. That shloka describes, 3 lines of the shloka describe what we need to do. Only 1 line describes what Krishna needs to do. We forget our 3 lines. We focus on his 1 line. What are the 3 lines? Ananyas chintayanto mam ye janaha paripasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam. Are we on this plane? Ananyas chintayanto mam. Without any distraction or deviation, are we thinking of Krishna? Ye janaha paripasate. Are we doing paripasana? Perfect worship. Upasana is worship. Paripasate means perfect worship. Are we doing that? Tesham nityabhiyuktanam. Are we constantly engaged in that kind of selfless worship? Oh my God. How can we expect yoga kshemam vahamyaham? Right? First we need to do what is expected of us. So in selfless devotion, there is complete reciprocation. Of course, Krishna is kind enough. Even if you approach the Lord with some expectations, other day we were discussing Sakama Bhakti. Even if you approach the Lord without any with lot of selfish expectations, still Krishna will give us some mercy, and that bhakti will transform us. But if we consciously become selfless, how much Krishna will be happy? Even if the child is mischievous, parents love the child, isn't it? But if the child is disciplined, parents are more happy, isn't it? As children of Krishna, we want to be mischievous and still expect him to be kind to us, or let's be disciplined and give him some happiness. Who is a better child, the second or first option? Yes, Parth. You are seeing your father. You want to be the second category child or first category child? You are thinking second. Sure. Well, not only this father, the Supreme Father Krishna also. We need to be the second category children of the Supreme Lord Krishna. Hum Bija Pradapita. So, selflessness completely satisfies the heart. And that selflessness is demonstrated not only in our relationship with Krishna, it must be first demonstrated in our relationship with other devotees. We spoke a lot about selflessness in our relationship with Krishna. And initially we also spoke about selflessness in dealing with common people, tapyante lokatapen and all that. Yatava janma satale, we were quoting so many shlokas on 8th canto and 10th canto. But let's specifically talk about being selfless in our dealings with other devotees. Actually speaking, when you are preaching, selflessly giving your time and attention and your love and affection towards a new devotee whom you are preaching to is much easier than selflessly giving your time and attention to a seasoned devotee or friend. Does it make sense? Does it sound relatable? Right? There are already some devotees who are close to us. In our relationship with them, sometimes we may not be so selfless, but when some new people come, we may become selfless in giving our time and attention to them sometimes. The new people who come here, they also see not only our dealing with them, they will also see our dealing amongst each other. When there is no unity, when there is no friendship, when there is no selfless spirit in our dealings with each other, new people will also observe. Krishna will definitely observe, no doubt. But these people will also observe. That will also inspire them. When devotees in a community are loving and caring for each other, and when new people come and see, they become very inspired. They are happy the way you treat them. And they will be more happy with the way you treat each other with love and affection. So we need to be selfless in all our dealings, not only with Krishna, not only with common people in this world, but also with the devotees around us. We may be selfless in our dealings with senior devotees. We may be selfless in our dealings with junior devotees also sometimes. But how much are we selfless in our dealings with peers? Generally, when somebody is almost equal to us, that induces a sense of competition, spardha. Why this person is equal to me? Why should I share my opportunities with this person? Why should I share my privileges with this man? We may feel little self-centric even in Bhakti. We may not share opportunities and privileges or prasadam. Right? We need to be selfless in our dealings with other devotees. And one aspect of selflessness is to share the opportunities, privileged opportunities for service. If there are background services, we will share. I will share this opportunity with you. Come, let's go and wash utensils. I have some 50 plates to wash. Come. I am sharing, selflessly sharing this responsibility with you. You wash 25, I will wash 25. Right? But there are some privileged opportunities, attention attracting opportunities. There, I can be time management. Aarti. Leading Kirtan on Janmashtami day, for example. Or doing Aarti on a festival day. I can manage, it's okay. I do it. Right? Actually, we were taught in our initial days in ashram. There are some services which are attention attracting. Considered very privileged, like giving a class, worshipping the deities, leading kirtans. Right? Whenever we are asked to do these services, we can do. But there are some background services, jhadu, pocha, plate grooming, mopping, prasadam serving, plate cleaning, sabji cutting. Some simple background services. There, you don't have to wait to be asked. You can always volunteer for that, no problem. You can voluntarily go and do that services selflessly. But when privileged services are there, we should do when we are asked to do. That's what we were taught. So, when you are asked to give class, okay, you give class. Otherwise, you just hear and read. Sir, when we are asked to lead a kirtan, we lead. Right? So that's like selflessness must be in all phases of life, in all dealings with all kinds of people, and in all aspects of devotional service. Right? That is selfless devotion. Not that I will be selfless in my relationship with these devotees, but not these devotees. I will be selfless in doing these services, but not these services. Here I am very possessive. I take this ownership, or ownership is fine. Ownership and responsibility have any positive connotation, but there is a possessiveness. In the name of taking responsibility, sometimes we become possessive about it. We enjoy that privileged position sometimes. Not only taking it as a responsibility, but also enjoying it. Yes, you can enjoy serving, but not enjoying the fanfare or the attention that the service gets. As long as that spirit is there, we cannot experience that bliss of bhakti. Bhakti bliss is experienced when there is selfless heart. But our experience of bhakti bliss is sufficiently blocked to the degree there is selfishness, self-centric mentality. Is the class getting heavy? You only asked me to speak all this. You gave me the topic and just to do Bhagavatam standard is like that. Yayatma suprasidati ahetikya pratihara. What are the proof you want? 1 hour I am repeating the same point. Right? I am not doing anything new. I am only giving multiple examples from different scriptures, but point is here. Ahaituki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. Ahaituki means selfless bhakti. Atma suprasidati means heart is completely satisfied. Satisfaction in bhakti lies in selflessness. This is the Bhagavatam's profound statement right in the beginning, 1.2.6. That's all we have been discussing 1 hour. Nothing new. Any questions or comments? 1, 2.
Harekrishna Prabhuji, being a neophyte, I can still say that this is one of the best lectures I have heard on selfless devotion. Thank you very much.
Please bless me so that I don't just speak, but I implement it. I imbibe it. If you think that I am on this level because I am speaking this, you are an illusion. But I am clarifying. Right.
The verse which came and the references you have given is just,
Yes.
I don't know words. Sorry. My questions, Prabhuji, there are a couple of questions. Is that okay? There are a couple of questions, 2 questions? Thank you, Prabhuji. First question is from yesterday's lecture. You talked about towards conclusion that we are independent of Maya, which was very new to me because
We are
independent of Maya, so we can choose or not to go to Maya.
in the conditioned state, we are not independent of Maya, but we have some independence by which we can choose not to be overwhelmed by Maya.
Is that applicable to general people like ourselves?
Everybody. For example, Maya presents some allurement. For example, everybody has a phone here. Who doesn't have a phone here? Anyone? Nobody. Oh, that's great. You have a phone? You should raise your hand. Manushyanam Sahasresham. There are some 100 to 200 people here and you are the only person who doesn't have a phone. Manushyanam Sahasresham. You will demand her a phone after a while. Anyways, so say we have phones, right? We are seeing some YouTube video or some lecture, Krishna Katha. Somehow YouTube has this recommended videos, something pops up, or advertisements keep coming up, this and that, so many things. You have an option to skip the advertisement or not look at the other recommendations coming up or keep recommendations off completely. and subscribe to only those 2-3 channels, and you will see content of those channels only. As soon as you open YouTube, you don't have to see all the kachra there, right? But if you consciously click on that thing that is unfavorable for our bhakti, we are giving it to Maya. We are inviting Maya. Maya, please come into my heart. Right? We are inviting Maya. But we are choosing to switch off those things. We are using our minute independence to stay away from her. Maya will tempt us. As soon as you open YouTube or Instagram, whatever you say, as soon as you open it, Maya will tempt us with so many unnecessary contents, unnecessary reels or shorts or whatever. So much content is just bombarded at us. Maya is throwing so many arrows. It's up to us whether to choose or not. And this choice is there at every moment of your life. Every day we can make this choice. Maya is presenting some elements, we can say no. Maya, no. Maya, no. Maya, no. We can say that. And Maya is just chasing us. Run towards devotees. And there are 10 devotees sitting there. They are alone here, caught by Maya. You run towards the devotees. Hey, Maya is attacking me. Please protect me. Please protect me. All the 10 devotees will start kill you and then embrace you, and then they will not allow Maya to touch you. Most of the times Maya catches us when we are alone. When we are in seclusion. Seclusion, of course, you need to have your own private space where you can do your bhajan properly or meditate or reflect. But when sometimes that seclusion or alone time can be a venue for Maya to attack us. Can give a way to Maya to attack us. We should not allow that to happen. Use that seclusion or your privacy time only to do some devotional activities. Okay, I have to read a book and so much activities going on around. Let me go to some peaceful place and read there. I'll be in a secluded place and let me just go in and read. I have some rounds left. So much activities going on. Let me go to some peaceful room, secluded place and chant, complete these 2-3 rounds that are pending. That seclusion is fine. When you're using seclusion or private time for some good activity, some spiritual activity, that's great. That seclusion is helping you absorb in the devotional activity, that's wonderful. But sometimes when we are secluded, when we are alone, mind's thoughts will overwhelm us. Maya will attack us more. Imagine you are watching phone in public and watching phone in seclusion. If something pops up, we tend to see it because nobody is seeing us. Or we think nobody is seeing us. Right? But when we are in public, as soon as we see something, immediately just, okay, scroll it, go to the next one. And this is little obscene or this is not favorable for the bhakti. So, we always have a choice to make. However constrained our independence may be, still we have a choice. We have, some minute independence to make a choice to choose Krishna and not Maya. Because Maya can only present so many things in front of us, whether to accept them or not, it depends on us. But if we make some choices, wrong choices, for example, we choose to see some wrong videos, for example, then it becomes a condition. Because Maya has encroached upon your ability to make a choice. Because we have given in to her, she intruded into our space and she entered our mind. Now we cannot even choose. When people get addicted to, I'm saying only phone, which is maybe probably a simpler thing, but people get into smoking and drinking and drugs and many other things. So when they have deeper addictions, because they have given in to Maya, when Maya tempted them for the first time, they were impelled to or compelled to at one point to do the second time, to do the same thing second time, third time, fourth time, fifth time, 10 times they did. It becomes a condition. Now they're helplessly controlled by Maya. Then we may think, Maya is bothering us. Why did Maya bother you? You gave her way. 10 months back, you started this new bad habit which was not there. And these 10 months you are always saying yes, yes, yes to Maya whenever she came. Now you are unable to say no to Maya. We gave her an opportunity. Right? The first time only if we had said no, then Maya would not have much scope. Right? It's like In Prahlad Maharaj's language in the 7th canto of Bhagavatam, Kanduyanena karayoriva dukkha dukkham. Kanduyanena, scratching. Say, you have some itching sensation here. You scratched. You felt relief. That's great. But sometimes that itching sensation is because of some infection. As soon as you scratch, you feel relief. As soon as you take out your hand, your nails from there, again itching sensation is there. You feel like scratching more. Again you scratch. You felt relief. Then third time, you felt, oh my God, as soon as you take out, it's like not, it's not stopping only. Again you scratch, again you scratch. The more you scratch, the more you feel like scratching. The skin is becoming red, puffy, swollen. You are scratching, because as soon as you take out, you just can't survive. Because the urge to scratch is so much, the itching sensation has become increased. From the first scratch, it is little. Second time you scratch, it became more. 10th time you scratch, it became more and more and more. And you are unable to stop scratching. The frequency of scratching, the intensity of scratching, the pressure that you put in scratching has become more and more. It's demanding and it's bleeding. Still we scratch. Why? Because we could not tolerate the first urge to scratch. So we are scratching more and more and more and more. And if it's infectious, with the same nails, if you scratch here, this will come here. Then here, then here, then here, then here. Whole body keep on scratching. Sometimes when kids get rashes, parents say, don't scratch, don't scratch. If you go to a doctor, he says, doctor, I have some itching sensation. Will he give a prescription? Scratch 10 times in a day. If your nails are not there, you borrow the nails of your friends or family members and then scratch. And you ask 10 people to scratch you from 10 different directions in a day. The doctor gives such a prescription, right? Borrow nails. If there are no nails, you put some kind of some clips on your hand and you keep scratching. That's the solution. That's the recommendation. Nobody will say that. Medicine is something else. You put some ointment, you take some injection, you take some tablet and do something, and doctor will specifically say, don't scratch. Right? Put this ointment, apply this ointment with this, not with this. Apply this ointment and don't scratch. That's what the doctor will say. But we scratch. And that scratch made us scratch more and more and more and more. That's what's the same thing with Maya. Dealing with Maya is not any different. We gave in to Maya once and that made us become curious. Let me see, so second time we explored Maya, third time we explored Maya. By this time we understood. By this time, without you noticing it, we have allowed Maya to intrude into your privacy so much. Like, I don't know in this country, but or in this place, but there are some places where there are so many mosquitoes. As soon as it's evening, especially in some seasons, the mosquitoes are very high. So, as soon as you open the door, immediately some mosquitoes will enter. So they will say, you just open the door, come inside and immediately close the door. In many places there are two doors. One is like normal door, one is a mesh door. So the mosquitoes will not enter. But once you open the door and leave it open, unattended, for 2 minutes or 3 minutes or 4 minutes, some mosquitoes will come. And they will bring more mosquitoes. Whole night you cannot sleep. Because there are so many songs in your ears. Sweet songs in the ears, you can't sleep. Mosquitoes. So who allowed the mosquitoes? Why did you open the door? Okay, we opened it for an important purpose. Immediately you should close it. Because we have not immediately closed it, Maya has entered in the form of mosquito. And whole night you can't sleep. And by the time you get up, there are red spots everywhere in the body. Because mosquitoes are biting. And you could not sleep properly. Whose mistake? Our mistake. Does it sound heavy?
Thank you so much for the explanation, Prabhuji. My second question is around the way you recite Sanskrit verses. This is just, we have studied Sanskrit in our school days, Prabhuji, but can you tell us a tip or something which can help us memorize the verses? Because I struggle to memorize, and the way you do it's just flawless. So if you can share some tips.
Understanding the shloka and understanding the meaning of the shloka internalizing it, practicing it, applying it, and realizing it is more important than memorizing it. Right? But still, if you have some taste for memorizing shlokas, there are ways. The first thing that I always say is love the shloka. When you love the shloka, either for its meter or for its meaning especially, then automatically it will make its way into your memory. First you need to develop that affection for what the shloka is saying. Kunti Maharani, she is speaking this shloka. She is my favorite character, most inspiring character. Okay, let me see what she says. Then you feel like memorizing. Namaha Pankaja Nabhaya, Namaha Pankaja Nabhaya. You memorize, right? But other tips are there. You just take that shloka. 4 lines becomes too overwhelming for the mind to retain. Start with 1 line. Just take only 1 line. Matra Sparshastu Kaunteya, Matra Sparshastu Kaunteya, Matra Sparshastu Kaunteya. Take only 1 line and memorize it. Then go to the second line. Sitoshna Sukha Dukkhada, Sitoshna Sukha Dukkhada. Say that 5 times or 10 times. Then you combine both. Matra Sparshastu Kaunteya, Sitoshna Sukha Dukkhada. Together you recite multiple times. Then you go to the second half again. Then you recite the whole shloka like that. And Prabhupada says, you hear recordings and then memorize. And we are unable to pronounce properly. Okay, let's hear proper pronunciation. That's what Prabhupada did. Every day morning Bhagavatam class is like that only. The speaker will recite the shloka line by line. Audience will repeat it. It happens 3 times. Then audience will start reciting. Some Prabhus will recite, some Mataris will recite like that. One shloka is recited at least 10 times in a typical morning Bhagavatam class in any iskcon. Right? So that will help us memorize, repeatedly reciting, hearing the recitation and then memorizing. Regular recitation in groups will work. Right? You may just be with 10 friends or 10 of you commit to reciting 10 shlokas, learning 10 shlokas, and these 10 shlokas you recite in 1 line. It may take 2-3 minutes. You read 4 times, 10 minutes, 10 minutes shloka time. 7:15 now. 7:15 to 7:25 p.m. every day, we will come gather together to learn these shlokas. So those 10 shlokas you recite 4 times in this 10 minute slot every day. Within 5-10 days, all of those 10 shlokas will enter your memory in the same sequence. So practice. And there are many other tips. You can read that book. What is that? Art of Learning Shlokas. As a part of Art of Studying and Teaching, which is the 4th chapter. There are many more tips. You have a question?
Harekrishna Prabhuji, thank you very much for the wonderful class. So my question is, at this stage, when we don't have that desire to perform selfless devotional service, what kind of desires are still considered to be okay to have?
Desire to hear, desire to chant, desire to serve the Vaishnavas, even with some expectations, no problem. Do these devotional activities. That's what Dhruva Maharaj did. Dhruva Maharaj sincerely practiced Bhakti, sincerely did the Abhideya, sincerely chanted Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, but with a selfish desire. Within 6 months, all the selfishness is gone, Bhakti remained. So, I think we discussed on the second day whether it is Akama or Sarvakama or Moksha Kama. Do Tivra Bhakti, intense Bhakti, sincere Bhakti. And just following the regimen given by the Acharya sincerely, following the curriculum in academic terms, sincerely, will eventually make us selfless. Okay, Mataji?
Harekrishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, this question came from our Zoom session. Mataji, Gaureshwar Gauritash Mataji asking the question. Prabhuji, how can we overcome lingering effects of a difficult experience with devotees? Especially, how can we overcome the lingering effects of a difficult experience with devotees?
Lingering effects, yes, of a difficult
experience with devotees. Especially when we still have deep respect for them, but the incident has created an inner filter or hesitation. how do we raise above that and not remain in a limited consciousness?
Yes, it's very painful experience. First I empathize with the question and acknowledge the pain there. When some devotee whom you love so much has said something, has done something which has deeply hurt you, either for your mistake or their mistake or whatever, something has happened. And it is little difficult to forget it. But how long will we hold it in the heart? Yeah, as long as our mind is meditating on it, that's there. But we need to use our intelligence at this moment. When emotions are very high, and especially when the emotions are taking us into a negative zone, that's where we need to activate the intelligence. Mind is our emotional faculty, intelligence is our rational faculty. Mind is a storehouse of emotions, feelings, thoughts and desires. But intelligence does the analysis, does the logical analysis, and presents some rational perspectives, right? So we were supposed to see that, they will see. So intelligence will do the rational analysis of the situation. So we need to activate our intelligence and regulate the mind's emotions. That's what is expected every time. And we need to take support from other devotees. So if our mind is too overwhelmed with bitter experiences with other devotees, there may be some positive experiences also that must have happened with them. Why should we forget them? If we are forgetting them, let other devotees remind us. We need to depend on other devotees for reconciling the situation. Don't go to those devotees who will add to the negativity. And that negativity will become double, triple. Right? So instead of that, go to some mature devotee, well-wishing devotee who can give a mature perspective and bring you out of that negativity. It's our responsibility to come out of that negativity. For whatever reason, whether it is because of our mistake or their mistake, if we are caught up in negativity, whose responsibility is to come out of that negativity? We are caught up in negativity. Mistake may be theirs. Somebody pushed you in a well, right? Mistake unka hi. Because of them only you fell in a well. But it's whose responsibility to come out of the well? We only have to come out of the well for our own welfare. Therefore, let's try to come out of the well. Let's not remain in the well only. Blind well. Somebody pushed in the well. What they did is mistake, definitely. Aparadhi. But somehow or other we have to come out of the well. So you did like this, you did like that. How long you will be in the well and thinking about the person who pushed you? Come out of the well. So that's, we need to take that personal responsibility to come out of any negativity. For that, we need to use our rational and scriptural and spiritual intelligence to control the mind's emotions, regulate the mind's emotions. Not easy. I am not saying it is easy, but we have to try. When Krishna told Arjuna, Arjuna, I understand, I acknowledge that it is not easy to control the mind, but do abhyasa and have some vairagya. Be detached from those thoughts. And also practice to be detached. Keep practicing, practice. One day will come out. And take support in your practice from other devotees. Let other devotees will have a more positive experience with those devotees with whom you had a negative experience. Let the positivity of these devotees will destroy your negativity. But if you go to those people who had negativity, their negativity will add to your negativity and we will dig the well deeper. We will only go inside. It's a very painful situation. I definitely understand it, empathize with it. But at the same time, for our own sake, for our own spiritual welfare, we need to take the responsibility of coming out of the negativity and continue our service and sadhana. We conclude here. How many more questions we should take? 7:25 almost. Any other questions? Okay. good elements.